The beacon series is back. If you didn't see my last video, I speedran a full iron beacon in 1 hour and 26 minutes. Today, we are tackling a gold beacon. This poses a unique challenge because there's two main ways to get a gold beacon. Number one, mine for said gold, and number two, build a farm. Over the course of about a week, I was testing out these different strategies, trying to figure out which one worked best. Our goal time for this episode is still that sub 1 hour and 30 minutes. But after a couple failed attempts, I honestly wasn't sure if I could do this. The only other videos on this topic had built a farm to get a gold beacon, and it just didn't seem possible. But this was my best run, so sit back, get some snacks, and let's see how fast we can get a full gold beacon. Okay, I have to go dancing relatively soonish, but I might have enough time to do a gold beacon speedrun. Bang. This is our world. It's nothing particularly crazy, just a standard ocean world. One of the few types that I do like playing out. Oceans are super useful because it's a very quick way to get early iron. And if you're lucky, you'll get gunpowder from one of the chests in your shipwreck. I also got a buried treasure chest. This is another fantastic way to get early game resources. I have Feather Falling 4, which is actually kind of And nice. Then this cave is maybe sendable. Optimally, I'm spawning in a desert, right? I can loot a desert temple, get a whole bunch of gunpowder, but in the cases where I don't, and I don't get an absurd amount from shipwrecks, because, you know, those aren't going to give a ton, I actually end up killing creepers. And fun fact, when killing creepers, they will only blow up if you have line of sight with them. So if you kind of dance around, placing blocks in between, critting them out, it's very useful. Nice. Keep racking them up. Eventually, I stumble into a big cave, which is nice, but I almost end up dying. Oh my gosh. Yo! Okay, there's gotta be, yeah. Oh my, yes. Deep slate. Not only do I find deep slate coal ore, but also lapis lazuli. This is actually really important to get out of the way early on. It'll allow me to start enchanting as soon as I leave the end. So I kill a couple more creepers. Another pro tip, use an axe and sword. You get just enough damage to 2-tap the creeper, and the cooldown is just enough that it won't blow up. I could get full diamond armor before I go to the nether, jeez. Now in the nether, we get the fun task of finding a bastion with a pie chart. It's a little bit confusing and very tedious, so I'll save you the trouble. But we do end up entering the bastion around the 9-minute mark. Very good pick. I got an absurd amount of obsidian from the start of this bastion, so I figured it would probably turn into a real run. You know, with bastions, it's always the difficulty of, am I going to get enough pearls? Do I need to go to a second bastion? And although I had to do some funky business in this bastion and kill a couple piglin brutes, it worked out decently well. I did still need more pearls, which is pretty common in this. Any enderman you see, whether it's in a cave or in some warped forest on your way to the fortress, you want to be killing. Entering the fortress, I did have a slight complication. Oh, I do not have another fire res. But assuming the drop rates aren't horrendous, I should be able to get all of my rods before I start catching fire. This overworld was actually so clutch. I didn't have many explosives, but there were just like a bajillion brown sheep next to my portal. So all of my explosives are from these guys. Shout out those brown sheep. Do I want food? I mean, nah. We'll see if that turns into a mistake. I had 7 golden carrots. I figured I would be fine getting to the outer end. You know, I really wanted to push the pace, and I already had to mine some obsidian to get to the next portal. 25-minute stronghold? That's like chill. This is where we get our paper, and in combination with the gunpowder we got from earlier, we should be set on rockets at least until we get back into the overworld. I grab a couple bookshelves just so we can get a full enchanting setup, and if you find any good enchanted books, you can keep those as well. Nice. This wasn't my cleanest end fight. The dragon flew on my 0, but I did manage to pull off a 1 cycle, and now we're off to the outer end. And this is why you should always use your pie chart in the outer end. It'll tell you if there's a dragon egg in your loaded chunk. I saw this on my pie chart, but didn't see the end city, so it told me to turn completely around, which was a little bit annoying. I had to bridge over this like massive void, and I couldn't see the end city for a while, but a few short pearls away, I found it, and it saved me a tremendous amount of time. I can't believe I just said tremendous. How many times in life do you say tremendous? Doesn't that feel Like an old school bird? Am I going crazy? Anyways, I got an elytra, did some more end city looting. I think a good way to determine how much looting you've been doing is how many ender chests you got. It's a decent measurement for how many chests you get, and we're gonna be using this obsidian to fast travel later in the run. We mainly need looting, which you get from your first enchantment. That's always kind of nice with these runs. You have a guaranteed looting 3. But there's a couple other useful enchantments that I try to force a little bit, like Silk Touch on a pickaxe. That way I can mine any extra gold ore while I'm traveling the Nether. Feather Falling on the boots so that I don't accidentally die. That's a big one. And a couple other small ones, like I had an efficiency 4 book from the libraries. But overall, enchanting should be a pretty minimal part of the run. I often find myself spending too much time enchanting. So back to the Nether. One of the main killers of these beacon runs is not finding a good fortress. You want a fortress either completely surrounded by lava or in a soul sand valley. These will give you higher spawn rates for wither skeletons. And in this run, ironically, this might be the best fortress I've ever found. Not only was it almost perfectly in this massive lava lake, but most of it was also in a soul sand valley fortress. So I had a lot of fun just going ham killing wither skeletons. But before getting into the big bulk of it, I knew that I didn't have a ton of food. So you'll see me actually get a couple bone blocks. This is because I saved a single carrot, and I'm gonna use that to grow basically an army of golden carrots. I kind of forgot that we're doing an iron beacon, so we are wasting a stack of gold, but I do think it's worth it in the end. Golden carrots are just such a powerful. To utilize a good nether fortress, you're also gonna need a lot of rockets. You want to be constantly flying in and out, resetting the mob cap, beelining it to the next wither skeletons. So this is another one of my favorite parts of the run. Using an elytra to just go as ham as possible at night, killing creepers. Again, we're using that same strategy of hitting them first with an axe and then our looting sword. This makes it so that we can 2-tap mobs before they explode without having crazy sharpness and check. Okay, let's get the speed going, let's get the speed going. Got it just under an hour. Okay. I gotta fully lock in. I'm trying to be sick. We have almost exactly 30 minutes to kill a wither and get 2.5 stacks of gold blocks. Actually, it's more than 2.5 stacks. And while I had built farms for a couple of the earlier runs that I did, I found that looting bastions and mining gold on the way was just fast. Also, nice work. I remembered to get 4 soul sand. That has killed some runs before. And fun fact, if you didn't know, mining nether gold with a silk touch pick will give you the raw ore. Now, I'm sure that's not super surprising to you, but if you smelt it in a furnace, it gives you a full ingot as opposed to a couple of nuggets. This is something I don't think many people utilize, and it was half the strategy I was going to be using to get all of my gold. The idea is as we're on our way to bastions, we're stopping at all the easy to mine gold. Maybe it's better to not mine any gold. I haven't done enough testing, but in this run, it seemed a pretty good combo. It also depends how many firework rockets you have. If you have more firework rockets, you can bleed a lot more of those looking for bastions, but if you're running low, it's better to just mine the gold on the surface. So this kind of speedrun, and honestly, most speedruns are a balancing act of a lot of different elements. Oh my gosh, treasure bastion. Treasure bastions. These are not only the best to get netherite, but also have the most gold. I mean, I guess it's kind of implied in the name, right? Treasure bastion. They are a little bit deadly. You know, you got the massive lava lake at the bottom. You have the magma cube spawner, piglin brutes dropping from the sky. So it's a little tricky to navigate. But in speedrunning in particular, you're usually playing on easy mode. So it's not the worst thing in the world. But if you do get caught in a bad situation, if you don't have good armor from the outer end island, it can be really bad, and I think I've certainly lost a run to piglin brutes. But if you do everything right, I mean, it's just such a good way to get gold. Plus the chest, you'll have gold blocks in it, so if you think, every single gold block that you're mining is about 2 veins of gold ore, plus all of the smelting time. It's all in one place and a very efficient way to get all of your resources. As a little bonus, you also get a whole bunch of obsidian. Not that I really needed it in this run. I actually had an absurd amount of obsidian. I probably could have made this run way faster by simply looting less in the end. Hard to say though. I mean, I did get a lot of good gear that probably saved me in the process. I got some good enchantments. Again, it's always that balancing. With other bastion types, it's useful to know where all the gold blocks are. If you do any sort of speed running, you should have all of these nailed down. And I think it's kind of funny in this clip, look how many piglins I got in this hole. It was kind of absurd. With my total rocket count going below a stack of rockets, I knew I'd have to play a little bit less aggressively, pick and choose the places to use my firework rockets a little bit more, try to have slightly better movement in between the little gold piles, because in this version, it's a little bit harder to find the bastions. You don't have as good techniques with the F3 menu, so if you get unlucky, you're just not going to find many bastions, and it's that balancing act of how many rockets should I use here? Should I invest my time to check around this corner? Is there nothing here? Is the bastion fully buried? Maybe it's a bad bastion. Maybe it doesn't even have any gold. All these questions are constantly going through my head, and that's one of the reasons I find this challenge so interesting and fun. They're very interrelated problems in a game that I have a lot of experience with. It's very similar to speedrunning in general, but with a slightly new take. And you finish with a pretty satisfying result, assuming, you know, you do everything correctly. Oh my gosh. Yo! Oh my gosh, the spear noise is so scary. And it was at this moment that I realized I kind of ran out of time for this challenge. Oh my gosh, I have to go dancing. So the footage we're looking at now is a full day later. Where even was I? I was in a bastion, right? Yes, the dancing was amazing. Yes, I was slightly late. But the main thing to talk about here are the bastions. I started hitting up so many, and I could tell this was one of my best paces yet. My current personal best was 1 hour and 36 minutes, but I kind of messed up the timer, and it made me not want to turn it into a video. So I was really hoping to break that sub 130 marker in this run. Okay, this is a little dangerous. Is that enough? What's 36? At this point, I was just on the cusp of having enough gold, but I wasn't quite sure. I still had to smelt all of my gold ore. So I set up a station for doing that, and honestly, I kind of bricked out. I put it down by the lava to use lava as fuel, right? It's a very convenient way to smelt large quantities of things if you don't have fuel. But I end up using the coal from killing wither skeletons instead. And so I could have just put these furnaces in the overworld next to me killing the wither, because that's what I needed to do next. We're at 1 hour and 19 minutes. We gotta go. Okay, we're really close. Go, go, go. My inventory management, honestly, a little bit bad too. They changed some of the mechanics of shift clicking and dragging and splitting item stacks in your inventory in the last couple updates, and it's honestly throwing me off so much. It's like I accidentally put way more stuff into furnaces than I mean to. I can't shift click stuff as much, and then when I go back to speed running, all of my habits are off because I'm scared of messing up my inventory with these known mechanics in my muscle memory. And it's sorry, a little bit of a rant there, but Minecraft just kind of changed very basic things to get about the game, and it throws me off. Okay, that's all it is. It's throwing me off. Okay, I just need to kill a wither now. Oh my gosh, this might be sub 130. Come on, the underground's like fine. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. My freaking thing. Time safe. Oh my gosh. Why did I put all this down by the lava if I'm not even using lava as a fuel? Should just be enough no matter what, I think. $35, 36. Go! 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 Come on, come on, come on. Beat my iron PB. Beat my iron PB. Come on, go, 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 go. Go! Boom! 124, baby! Oh my gosh, wait, that's totally the strat. I could do that way faster again. Yeah! Okay. Dude, I had so much obsidian that I did not need. I was actually really close with the amount of gold that I needed. I only had 5 extra. And then, like, down here, how much extra did I even have? 38. Like, that's just... That's so good. Vaya que imaginación que tiene la chamaquita y ese flow.